Information. If it exists in writing, we print it. If it exists online, we update it. If it exists on mobile, we notify. If it exists in video, we show it. If it exists in audio, we play it. In the past, the news had to wait for a paper to print for it to happen. Today, news happens in real time. It's analyzed, edited, and published immediately by us, your neighbors, and of course, you. Wherever you are, you write, edit, give opinions, share photos, and make the news happen. This is why a paper needs to be on print, on screen, and on your phone. Wherever you are, your news has its pulse in the community. The Boca Raton Tribune. We are much more than just a newspaper. We are your closest neighbor.
Welcome back to another episode of Business Highlight, a show by the Boca Raton Tribune. In Business Highlight, we talk to local business professionals and highlight, obviously, their company or nonprofit to our viewers. I'm your host, Pedro, and before we get started, make sure you like us on Facebook, share the video, follow us on YouTube. The links are in the bottom. And if you like to share this right now, just go to if you're on Facebook, click share, put your friends to watch it as well. But today we have the pleasure of speaking with Marisol Gonzalez, the co-founder of the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative. Marisol, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us. How are you?
Fine. Thank you, Pedro, for having me.
Of course. Yeah. So for those that don't know who you are, which might not be a lot of people, but some people might not know, could you just introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us, who you are and how long you've been in the town, things like that.
Yes. Oh, my name is Marisol Gonzalez. I'm from Venezuela originally. I have lived in Boca the last 15 years. Before I have lived in Boca twice. What happened is I have moved a lot. I have lived in 4 continents due to my husband's business before. And I also have been involved in business and in nonprofits since I was in high school. That paired with the fact of moving and getting to know so many different cultures, different backgrounds of people, give me this unique perspective in a way on how I see our community and our global economy.
Yeah, for sure. So with all that now you've been around 4 continents. That's a lot of continents. You opened up you're one of the co-founders of the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative. What is that exactly? How did it come to be?
Yes, the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative is a nonprofit organization. It's a 501c3 organization. And our mission is to empower the small Hispanic Latino entrepreneur through training and coaching so they get the tools they need to create sustainable businesses in the U.S.
Right.
And it came to be because a group of people that are working together, the team of Hey, have business background. We are all immigrants. We are the people we serve. Exactly the experiences they are going through right now, we have had in the past.
Right.
And we have learned through those years that there are unique characteristics of this group. Not only you are an immigrant that has its own set of challenges,
right.
You are opening a business, and you are opening a business in South Florida, because it's very different doing business in South Florida than doing it in New York, California, and Oklahoma.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have the local experience, and we want to facilitate that crossover process, not only for the Hispanics and the Latin community trying to do business here in the U.S., but also for those U.S. companies that want to enter this market and want to find out how to do the crossover the other way.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, how many people, like how many, Hispanic and Latino people would you say live in this general area of Boca, Palm Beach County?
I know that in Boca Raton, around 16% of the population is
Wow.
Latin, is Hispanic. Plus,
Hispanic.
you have a large Brazilian population as well.
Yeah.
And how many of them are small business owners? In South Florida, there are 80,000
Wow.
small business owners that are Hispanic with 10 or less employees.
Wow.
And not only we Latins are not only impacting the business community, but we are in the arts, we are in education, we
Right.
are touching every sector of this economy.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe we need the support. It's a group that works very hard,
Right.
that wants to grow. And something I have learned throughout my years is that there is a big difference between charity and philanthropy. Both,
Mm.
both of them have a moment and a place, but with the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative, are you, can you hear me?
Yeah. Your dog just agreed with us.
Yes, sorry. With the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative, we want to create long-lasting impact. And that's
Right.
why we are based in a philanthropy point of view.
Nice. And so I guess going off of that, how can the viewers that are watching this right now take action and help the organization at large?
There are different things that we would like to ask from the viewers. Number one is go into our social media, into our website. It is here on the chat. Thank you so much. And learn a little bit more about what we do and how we do it. Let people know our trainings right now are totally free. We have monthly trainings, we have entrepreneur forums, we are doing mentoring, we are partnering with other organizations like SCORE. So our mentoring program is going to be even more diverse next year.
Yeah.
If you are a company, if you are an organization that supports women in business, diversity and inclusion, and entrepreneurship, and you would like to learn about our corporate partnership opportunities, please contact us. We believe that we grow together, and that is why we are very excited. And I'm going to use this moment to announce that we are partnering also with the Brazilian community, and Douglas Heiser, the
Hey, I know
owner
that
of,
guy.
you know that one. He's not only the owner of the Boca Tribune, he has been the president of the Rotary and the Boca Raton Football Club founder, but he is a very well respected, by me especially, person in our community. He is a giver, he understands business, so he has accepted to be the liaison between the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative and the Brazilian community.
Nice.
And this is how we are growing through partnerships. We are working with the different consulates. We're working right now with the Colombian consulate and the Mexican consulate to focus on what is in Palm Beach County that we want to showcase about, like I said, tourism, education, economic development. We have headquarters, we have the port, we have the airport, we have so many things. And by working with the different consulates and their business attitudes, we can showcase what we do, and we can impact that entrepreneur community that wants to come and do business and succeed.
Yeah. I want to kind of go back a little bit. You touched a little bit on kind of the programs you guys doing for HEI. Hey. And so what type of those programs do you guys do, and how can people, get in on that?
Okay, right now this year we did one monthly class. Originally it was in person, and then COVID hit. So right now we're offering them virtually.
Yeah.
There is one training class a month, and there is one entrepreneur forum where we bring people from Fortune 500 companies, from all kinds of backgrounds to talk about a specific topic. People go in our website and our social media and Eventbrite. You look for Hey Florida, all our trainings are there. And in the website, some of the recordings are there from our prior trainings. Our trainings are free of cost right now. And next year, we are starting with our business accelerator program. It is a 30-hour intensive training for people that want to understand the process of doing businesses, from the mindset, the business plan, marketing, financial. Really an in-depth, up to 17 people. We are doing small classes because not only you learn from the facilitator, but you have the opportunity to interact and learn with the other participants. So we are doing that. We are creating our own YouTube channel where we're going to have our classes online, and we want to create Hey On Demand that I foresee probably late 2021, where we are going to have our courses online so people can access them at their own time and convenience.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. You touched a little bit how you guys had live face-to-face meetings, and then because of COVID, you guys switched over to online. How has COVID-19 affected the nonprofit this year?
Well, it has affected us in different ways. The most evident one was we started training in person. We were following the leadership model. Our classes were taking place in the headquarters. We had classes at the Boca Raton Chamber of Commerce, at Office Depot, at Boca Airport. So not only our entrepreneurs were going through the process of training, but learning about economic development in our area. Once COVID hit, everything closed, and we had to decide if we were going to just wait and see what happened, or we were going to pivot. And we decided now more than ever, the entrepreneurs are going to need the support, like it really happened to be. So we went virtual, and it was very interesting because it took a month for us to change our platform and get everything ready. And surprisingly, it worked really well, even though I still miss the face-to-face interaction, and I pray that very soon we'll do it again. But we started having people join from Latin America. So now in a virtual classroom, you have a group of entrepreneurs that are here in Mexico, in Argentina, in Venezuela, learning together.
Yeah, that's one way of making lemonade out of lemons, for sure.
Yeah, so that was really good. Another way that it has affected us, like it has affected, I believe, most of the nonprofit community, is corporations had to do a big budget cut, and they had to rethink their marketing strategies. So nonprofits that rely on their support had to, continue the conversations with them and show the real impact that their partnership will have in the community. So that was something that happened to us. And again, we went virtually and we continued the conversations, the one-on-one, but this way.
Yeah, for sure. So you're one of the co-founders of Hey. What does your day-to-day activity look like?
Well, almost daily, I have a meeting with Julie Martrombo. She is the founder of all the training programs. So every day we see what are the next trainings that are going to happen, what is going on with the entrepreneurs, what do we need to emphasize, and all this based on the feedback that we get from them. We also meet daily as a team with the president of our board. We talk to the people that run our social media, our digital marketing. I supervise that content that is going to come announcing the new programs. And I spent countless hours, growing that relationship with the corporations, with the consulates, and trying to get in touch with people that have some media power. Like once a month, we have a radio interview at Visión Latina with Abraham Segundo. He has been a fantastic supporter of Hey, and it gave us the opportunity to talk about business and talk about the programs that are coming. So basically is reaching out, trying to get the message out, and trying to show the impact that we so far have been having in our community.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned, what has been one of your most memorable moments so far with Hey?
I think two come in mind. One, of course, it was our first meeting. After a year of planning, it took a whole year of planning, years of training, and then 1 year of putting the nonprofit together. But we wanted to apply to us the 80-20 rule. We wanted to have 80% of our time planning and then be ready when it was time to execute. And Office Depot was the first one to open the door to the Hey participants on December 27th, 2019. And that was our first in-person training. So that was very significant because it was the culmination of all that work prior to make it happen. And I would say also our first entrepreneur forum. We have had several. The first one that actually was the last one in person, that was March 6th. It was in Brand Star. They have a fantastic studio, opened the doors to us. We had entrepreneurs come and speak about different things that had to do with strategic planning and finance and how to run a business. We had somebody, Oscar Cáceres from Casel, fly from Mexico to speak. We had Luis and Rita Ramirez. We had Arminda Figueroa, and we had Jose Pedreira. So we had a stellar panel, and we did it in person, and people were very excited to hear from these people that specialize in different areas in business, and a small entrepreneur doesn't have the opportunity to talk to them and to be able to ask questions and to interact in a regular basis. And that is what we're trying to do with our forums.
Right. That's awesome. Kind of in the same style of question, but a little different. What makes what you guys do at Hey so rewarding?
I love listening to the feedback from our entrepreneurs. One of the ones that touch me the most is when they say, I wish when I started my business, let's say 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something like Hey was in place. I would have done things in a very different way. We have business owners that are in the third iteration of business or fifth or two, but a lot of them were doing it by trial and error. What we are doing is bringing them a roadmap, processes. Our philosophy in Hey is systemic leadership. And it talks about that. You need to have processes. You need to understand the root of those issues. I think what happened with COVID now, a lot of the people didn't have, processes in place. And once COVID happened, they didn't know how to solve the issue. So now what we are doing is we're going back to the drawing board. The fact that you don't have them yet doesn't mean you cannot implement them and start pivoting and start growing your business and become really sustainable. So COVID, as bad as it was, I believe it can represent an opportunity for many people to grow and do things in a better way. So for me to see people learning and people growing and people feeling that they can apply what they are learning is really rewarding. And I feel they can become bigger. They become a source of employment for other people.
Yeah.
They have a stronger presence in our community. It makes me very proud to see a Latin community that is developing and growing. Yeah. So yeah, it is rewarding all around.
That's awesome. That's super great. Marisol, thank you so much. Before I let you go, I asked this question to everyone that I talk to, and so you're not going to be any different. What would be a piece of advice you'd give someone who is probably either trying to get into nonprofit work like you, or anything kind of like in that field? What would be a piece of advice you would give them?
Well, it will be 3 points really fast. I would say do your due diligence. You need to be compliant with all the regulations to start a nonprofit. Mm-hmm. And there are great organizations where you can go and learn. Junior League of Boca Raton is one of those nonprofit first. Do your research and do it well. Second, do not believe that because it is a nonprofit, it means you won't make any money and you won't have any money. You need to run it properly because you need to be able to run the operations. You need to be able to fulfill your goals and you need to be able to run your programs. Right. So you need to do that. And the third one is if you are planning to start your own nonprofit, I would recommend that you volunteer in other nonprofits because that's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
Get involved, join a board, volunteer, and learn from the people that are doing it, and search who is doing it well and use them as role models.
Yeah, that's really good.
Look for a mentor.
Yeah, for sure. Again, guys, we were speaking with Marisol from the Hispanic Entrepreneur Initiative. If you guys want to reach out and see more of what they do, you can check out their website at heiflorida.com. Or if you guys want to reach out to them directly and figure out how you can be a help, it's just info@heiflorida.org. Marisol, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to talk to us today.
No, thank you, Pedro.
Thank you. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up for us today at Business Highlight. I hope you found this episode informative. If you enjoyed the content, please make sure you like it, share it, and follow our pages. If you see the link of those pages below me. Tune back next week as we continue to talk to local business owners in the community. Until then, thank you so much for joining us, and I hope you have an awesome weekend. Take care now.
Thank you, Pedro.